Are you tired of being overcharged and forced into paying a monthly subscription for your Mac and Windows software? Well, if you are, currently we're having a 50% off discount on all the latest Mac and Windows software, such as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Photoshop, Microsoft Office, and much more. Our 50% off discount will be ending soon, so be sure to text us, ready to buy, to 323-405-1341. That's 323-405-1341. We aim to please, so expect 24/7 technical support, the latest premium software, instant software links delivered to your email, and PayPal buyer's protection guarantee.
I have my brother Taki Grant here. A couple shows ago. What was that, Monday? And we were talking about February 4th, Jamaica Performing Arts Center, a day of Black excellence. Matter of fact, where's the flyer for that? Let me put the flyer on the screen so y'all can see what I mean. Needless to say, it's going to be a lot of great people there. A lot of great speakers. Just so happens Brand Nubian will be performing. But the host and moderator, Dr. Kenneth Harris. We're going to have Riza Islam, Dr. Susan Tala. Our special esteemed guest today, Professor James Smalls. Dr. Falu, what's that say? Georgina Falu. It's kind of small from here. And of course, we see Brother Kaba. And also, I can't read that. It's kind of small. But yeah, we got some esteemed speakers in the house. And I'm so happy to have Brother Small here with us today, as well as Felicia, I believe is how we say her name, one of the executive producers from the Happy Movement. So right about now, I'd like to welcome them, bring them onto the show. Y'all give them a Godcast welcome. Oh, thank you, Gene, for the super sticker. Appreciate you. Yeah, so welcome to the Godcast. Felicia from Happy and Professor James Small. Peace.
Well, God, Jamar.
Yeah.
Let me just give you one thing to make sure so you know.
Oh,
we good, right?
I see you.
We good.
I see you. Oh, that's beautiful.
That's what's up.
Where'd you get that custom universal flag from?
Yes, sir. I was at the last Parliament. I gave some words at the last Parliament.
Oh, wow. And somebody gifted you that?
Parliament in decades, so it was good to see old friends like Ali and some of the brothers from 30, 40 years ago,
Right. Facts. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, welcome. Yeah, it's always an honor to have someone of your just your qualifications. You are the ones, you've walked with the ones of people that we have downloaded and got our knowledge of self from, basically, in so many fields, and help forward our education as original people, on this earth, and I just thank you for your years of work and your continued work. And Felicia, am I saying your name correctly?
Yeah, you actually say it like my grandmother used to say it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, how does everybody else say it?
Felicia. Like
Felicia.
Bye.
Okay.
Yeah, like bye, Felicia.
Okay.
Felicia.
Got you.
I like Felicia.
But grandma used to say Felicia, huh?
Yeah. 100%.
I actually thought I heard Brother Small say Felicia, so I ran with that.
She ignores me,
Still not true. Still not true. Thank you for having us on the show. Lord Jamar,
Definitely.
that's what's up. Thank you. Thank
I told people, but you can review what's going on February 4th, Jamaica Performing Arts Center, exactly who will be there. I know I mangled some names just now, and some of them I couldn't even read, but I'm sure you can pronunciate and you know exactly who's going to be there. So why don't you let the people know?
Yes, so February 4th, yes, at JPAC, the Jamaica Performing Arts Center. So we have, it's a whole day of Black excellence from 1 to like 9 p.m. Black excellence. We have right here, Professor James Small, Riza Islam, I love that brother, Dr. Georgina Falou, Dr. Susan Tata, Infudishi Juhuti Miss,
See,
and
there you go. I wasn't going to be able to say that.
Yes, Infudishi Juhudi Miss and Kaba Kabane. They're going to just be doing some lectures and special presentations. That's a piece of it. But then we also are going to show an extended clip or a special clip of Hoppy, the documentary Hoppy, the role of economics in the development of civilization, which Lord Jamar is in. If you guys have not seen, Hoppy. Yes, yes. So we're going to show. Yeah, we gotta get applause on our show. That's what's up. But yeah, so we're gonna show extended clip of our film, and then we also have Amadeus Christ, who did Out of the Darkness, Heavy as a Crown, Volume 1. So we're gonna show a little piece of his film. And if that wasn't enough, we're gonna also have, yay, Brand Nubian performing. You guys, I mean, like that's yes. You guys are going to perform, and we also have a poet, Lyrical Faith, and then another conscious rapper, Jamar Milton, will be in the house. And the cool thing about this event is that it's also a networking event so that we can all commune with each other. So time is built in for that. We'll have a Hoppy marketplace. We got some vendors. So it's going to just be a whole day of Black excellence. It's going to be nice.
Definitely.
Yeah. And we have some drummers from Ghana that's going to open it up, and they're going to be doing some little stuff throughout the day. So it's going to be nice.
Dope.
Yeah.
I see, Professor Small, that you have a lot of connection to Ghana. Actually, you're CEO of the Sana Lodge Enterprise Ghana Ltd, CEO and president of the African American Management Company Ghana. Tell me about your connection to Ghana.
I've been in and out of Ghana for much of the last 45 years. Matter of fact, this opening up you're seeing in Ghana today was something Leonard Jeffries, his wife, Dr. Rosalind Jeffries, and myself begun 40 years ago. So this is good that the world is now seeing it, and that there's more than 12 to 15,000 African Americans who live there. So what you're seeing now is the world becoming aware of the Genesis.
You said 12 to 15,000.
Yes, of us who live there, own businesses, have housing, and so forth and so on. But the world is waking up to the fact that, them Black folks go to Africa, huh? Yep, we've been doing it for a while, right? But we own a hotel there, myself, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, and a few other persons. It's a 30-room hotel. And it's a multi-million-dollar project in Cape Coast, Ghana. We've owned it for some 19 and a half years. It's called the Sana Lodge. It's been a lot of trauma through the years with the Ebola and then this new disease they've thrown on us and the economic decline. But we are open and we're still in business. And they had a wonderful holiday season, which I was happy with. And we've been involved in the founding of the Emancipation Day in Ghana. We were at the leadership of that. In the founding of the Panifest process in Ghana, we were very involved in the leadership of that and sit on the Panifest board. Ghana's just been our headquarter place. I'm probably one of the oldest African-American chiefs in Ghana. I was initiated, and especially particularly the Ashanti-Agogo region. There were others before me, but I've been initiated as early as 1984. And they are known as Nana Kofi Mpansa, the second of the Agogo stool. Very involved in that community. very involved in the Cape Coast community because our business is there, very involved in the Western region because my favorite king, a brother named Nana Kwabena and Ketsi V of Esokado, who was the Maya Angelou lived with that family when she lived in Ghana. John Clark lived with that family when he was in Ghana. Malcolm X visited with that family when he was in Ghana. And so that's my base with that family in the Western region. But was very close with President Jerry Rawlings. We considered one another brothers. I would meet him and go to his home each time I visit Ghana and even take my groups there. And he would never say no. Ghana has been really the gateway to Africa because Kwame Nkrumah lived among us, studied among us, went to Lincoln University, lived in Harlem. And when he returned home to become the first president, he brought many African Americans to help him develop the country.
And what year are we talking about? What year is
1957 and forward. 1957. Dr. Martin Luther King visited Ghana in 1957, and you can see photograph of him with Nkrumah celebrating independence. And Dr. King wrote what I consider to be one of his best speeches. It's called The Birth of a New Nation, when he returned from Ghana that year. And you can find it online. You think it's Malcolm X, but it's Doc. It's deep. So Ghana's always been our heart and our place. All of my children, of the 6 of them, 8 of them, have been to Ghana. And I have 2 adopted kids in Ghana. One of them served in Parliament for 4 years, and she just called this morning to get permission to run for Parliament again because she lost the seat last year, but she thinks she can win it back this year. So Ghana's been a very special place, for me and my family. All of my family, wife, children, all of us have been there multiple times. So.
How is it in Ghana? Like, as someone who lives here in America and has been spoiled by a lot of Western accoutrements, I guess you would call them. How is the development in Ghana? Do they have modern type cities and all that type of stuff?
Oh yeah. The key thing to remember when you're traveling abroad, especially Africa, is that people is people world over, in terms of the fundamental values and beliefs that people use in their daily life. But Ghana is one of the, there's an international airport where all of the big jets of the world land, and you think you're in Kennedy or Atlanta or any of those places when you come in. There have been a lot of development in the last 20 years. When I first went, I could count the skyscrapers on 2 hands. Now you can't count them.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Right. You have all of the business. You even have McDonald's down the street and Kentucky Fried around the corner.
Not that we should even act like all of this construction is necessarily, the advancement of civilization somehow. I'm just wondering.
No, when you look at ancient Kemet, what are you looking at? Extraordinary historical constructions,
right?
Civic environments. We invented this concept. And
there were cities here in America.
Right. We were retarded by America and the West due to colonialism and slavery. But we done broke free now. We black and we back. We broke free. And we're trying to be ourselves. They have a music over there. And I don't know, you know of a brother named Reggie Rockstone?
I can't say I do.
Reggie Rockstone is the father of hip life. The music in Ghana, the genre there was high life. But one of our partners, one of my former students who died last year in a water accident, he went to school at City University, worked here for the New York Times, got into hip hop and rap, went back home to Ghana and changed the genre from high life to hip life and created what you now call Afrobeat. So Brother Reggie, he has a couple of restaurants and nightclubs, which I always visit and make sure I go to get my little dance in, even with my bad knee, So there's a thriving music industry that's growing up in Ghana around hip life and then merging with reggae into the hip life. The young people are like young people around the world. They're trying to create the Africa they want to see. And the young people of Ghana especially have a heavy interrelationship with the young people of African America. You know, those two populations have been merging for some 50 years.
Right. Now, do we think that it's merging in a positive way? See, I only went to Nigeria. That's the only place I've ever been to in Africa. And we stayed out there for about a week. And you know, when we got out there, we wanted to be like, you know, try to get absorbed with African culture, but it seemed like they were enamored with American culture.
Yes. And who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be enamored with American culture? So we can't be blamed for that.
But right now, but American Black culture, you know, as it's being presented to the world, is very negative, very, you know what I mean? Over sexualized violence, all of that nonsense.
That's why we got you. That's why you're broadcasting, and the brothers and sisters with the platforms like yours and the Happy platform. We're trying to change that dichotomy. We're trying to change that vision and that image.
Because we don't need to pollute there. We don't need to go over there and now pollute them with the pollution that we have.
Right. But some of that's going to get through. But we've got to counter it with the more positive side of our culture, which is the majority of our culture, the majority of our people, and the majority of our environment. And that's happening. When you look at just the gender of hip life, the music, they're very sanitized compared to what we do. Okay? They said, no, we don't want that.
Right.
We want this. But when we look at hip hop, for instance, and the power it has around the world, we know the enemy controls a certain amount of distribution. That's the majority distribution. We control a lot of the images that they sent of us abroad. But we know that there are those artists from here who travel all over the world. You know, I used to be close to Papa Wu, God bless his soul, and who was
Papa Wu, yes, sir.
Oh yeah, that was, you know, and so they were involved with a lot of young people from South Africa, from Zimbabwe, from other places, trying to show them the positive side of our social commentary, because that's what music is. It's social commentary coming from the cultural base of a community. And so the enemy has taken our social commentary and perverted it. But that we've won some of those battles. They didn't win all of them.
Right.
You know, I remember when they approached my brother Teddy Riley, who's like a son to me, in Blackstreet, and says, either you wanted him to do gangster rap, or they weren't going to let his stuff leave the warehouse. Teddy says, fine. So he disbanded Blackstreet and said, I don't have a contract with you. Blackstreet had a contract with you. See, nobody ever knew what happened. I hope you don't mind me telling it, Teddy, but that's what happened, right? So there've been those young brothers and sisters, as you know, in the industry who said, no. We have an African perspective. We have a social commentary we want to tell. You can take your mighty industry and try to pervert it with money and technology, but we're going to get through anyway. Just having this conversation today, we're getting through.
Right.
Here you are, right? You don't know that I sat with God Allah in the last few hours of his life, right? But here, you're one of the children, right? This is the brother I struggle with, who's your father. We've got more in common than we ever imagined.
Wow.
That's why I showed you what I showed you.
True indeed.
You know, so there's a war that's going on from the young people, which we really appreciate. And that's where Happy came in to be so beautiful with this concept of using history to tell the economic story of Black people, not just the past economic success, but to show how we design in the present the future economic success. That's really what the process of Happy is about. You know, how do we take what we got and make what we need? And we can look back on history and get some modeling in order to do this. And the film Happy, which will be shown on the 4th, is going to tell that story. And then when you look at Heavy as the Crown, you're going to hear the spiritual side of the same story from Amadeus Christ on the 4th. And all of the different speakers you have, and then you're going to be there, you know, dropping the same science, but you're going to be using music to drop that science. I'm going to be using oratory to drop that science. But we're talking the same science. How do we free our Black ass and get past? That's what this is fundamentally about. Freedom. Freedom, Asa Hilliard said that freedom is being shackled to your identity. So if you don't get your identity straight, you can't get your freedom process straight. Happy is trying to use the history to help us get our identity straight and get a perspective on economics, which is the foundation of any civilization, so we can get in charge of the social commentary, in charge of the social environment, in charge of the images of Black people, and we can develop the minds that we want to see develop in our children.